He's only been in office for about a week, but Hoboken Mayor Peter Cammarano already has a lot on his plate. He joins me now to discuss some of the early initiatives of his administration. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Sherry. Always a pleasure.
What is your first order of business?
There's really two things. One is that administratively, I'm trying to construct a group of people that are going to staff an administration here, that are going to serve as directors and other important positions, appointed positions within the government, who are qualified, who are capable, who are going to inspire confidence in not only the people that they're going to be serving with in City Hall, but also with the broader public. And there's been an ongoing interview process and vetting process that's gone on basically from the moment the transition started in mid-June and right through today. And we're trying to identify the best people possible, the best and the brightest, to fill positions who have a particular area of expertise or who we think are going to be best at doing the job. So that's really task number one, is basically staffing City Hall with people who are going to be able to do the job and work within the administration. And then the second thing is really a focus on the budget and financial matters. I'm trying to work with the State Monitor, Judy Tripodi, who's doing a tremendous job in this regard, but to make sure that we're getting a budget to the City Council, introduced at the City Council with plenty of time to spare. Hopefully it's there before the end of August. We'll see exactly how that goes, but hopefully we're getting a budget to the City Council with plenty of time for them to be able to delve into, consider, and ultimately pass upon. And that budget needs to be honest and responsible and balanced. It needs to lower taxes, and so that's sort of the lawmaking role that they're going to have to play, is considering that budget. But then there's all manner of other financial matters that I'm trying to get up to speed on, and also start making decisions on, that are separate and apart from the budget that's going to have to be considered most recently. We're trying to identify cost savings, restructure our debt, do collective bargaining, all sorts of things that are going to realize six-figure savings every year for the taxpayer. That you're nickel and diming it, you're finding little savings here and there, $100,000 there, $400,000 there, but little by little, those nickels and dimes all of a sudden add up to millions of dollars, and that are going to really apply downward pressure on our tax levy. So that's been the focus in this first few days.
Any ideas where the cuts are going to be made?
Well, we are going to streamline a lot of services within City Hall. There's going to be a reorganization of departments so that efficiencies are realized in terms of what it costs to provide municipal services. And then outside of City Hall, we're going to chop down on professional service contracts. And I campaigned on this. I intend to govern on this principle, that the amount that we spend on professional service contracts, not just lawyers, but really everybody, who we go out to bid on. We put out RFQs, RFPs for professional service contractors to come in and do work for the city of Hoboken. You're talking about millions and millions of dollars every single year. And to the extent we are able to either chop down on those significantly by bringing the service in-house. So for instance, lawyers, if you hire more lawyers in-house, there's that much less work that needs to be farmed out every year in the form of professional service contracts. But other contracts that, to be perfectly candid, I'm looking at and saying, we don't even need that service, whether it's provided by a vendor outside of City Hall or provided by somebody in-house. It's something that is not entirely necessary. So we're going to be chopping down on some of those, and I think that is something that, again, you're adding on to those nickels and dimes here and there, and realizing some real savings.
What's the status of the police layoffs?
Well, if nothing happens between now and July 20th, I believe the date is, the 16 most recently hired patrolmen are facing termination. We had an extension of time from the end of June to July 20th in order to keep these young men on the job, on duty, particularly for the 4th of July, which was a tremendous success, largely because of our first responders, our police and our fire and our ambulance corps. We had a great day, but if nothing happens between now and July 20th, those 16 young men are going to be laid off. I'm doing everything I can to avoid that. I don't want to see these 16 men laid off. I think that it would be a tremendous waste of investment that the city has made in having these young men go through the academy, spending all the money on training them, equipping them, getting them on the job at entry-level positions, at the level of law enforcement where the rubber meets the road. These are the young men who are responding to calls. They are the ones chasing down suspects. They are the ones that you see out in the community walking around. well, you want to keep those men on the job. So I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that those layoffs don't happen. But there's going to be some work that has to happen between now and July 20th in order to avoid it.
And then finally, already you seem to be encountering some problems with the City Council.
Well, the City Council is exercising their own rights and responsibilities statutorily. They are trying to wrest control of appointment power over zoning board appointments from the office of the mayor. And to boil it down to its essence, they are doing what they are allowed to do under law, but they should make no mistake that I'm going to be doing the same that the office of the mayor is allowed to do under law. I intend to veto that measure if it reaches my desk, and we'll see if they can override the veto.
Okay, well, thank you very much for joining me here today.
Sure, thank you, Sherry, anytime.